Hello YouTubers, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to make a Fallout 4 video on my Red Rocket settlement. Um, I was kind of bored with what I was normally doing, so what I decided to do, I saw a post, an older post by this guy that used a basement settlement. Basically there's a mod, I think it's called Basement Living. I don't use mods at all myself. And he made this cool little settlement underneath Red Rocket, and it's kind of part of the mod where you can go through a trapdoor and create this little underneath room, a couple of rooms underneath the settlement. So because I don't use mods, I thought his settlement was pretty cool, and I wanted to kind of try and do something similar, right? And I also wanted to do something different, so I just built a massive sanctuary build, as you can see across the way there. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. It's again, I was trying to do something different there, right? So I don't normally build in concrete. But anyway, let me show you what I've done with Red Rocket. So outside, so I challenged myself that I was only allowed to build inside Red Rocket. That's all. So I boarded up all the windows and walls, and I'll show you that in a second. And the only door that you can actually open is the main garage door. Everything else is actually closed, which is kind of cool. So it creates that kind of bunker type feel. And I wanted to use concrete to do that. You can use wood or concrete. So I saw some videos of people doing it with wood, but that wasn't what I wanted. So on the outside, I just put down some buses and trash cans and just garbage to make it very uninviting with a lot of these hazardous signs for toxic waste. You'll see those all over the place. See this kind of nuclear waste, hazardous material. So really to make it as uninviting as possible, that raiders can come and build or anything. Yeah, so you can see all the doors have been boarded with concrete, so you can't enter and exit, at least the NPCs. This door can open, and I'll show you that when we go inside. But on the outside, you just see junk and shelves and old conveyor belts and trash and toilets and everything everywhere around. I'll show you these windows quickly. So all of these have concrete. So it's a little tricky to get these concrete windows in, but with the carpet glitch, you can actually get them in. The hardest part was this section here. So even with the wood, it seemed to be a little troublesome. But this section is you kind of just have to put one of these concrete beams in, concrete beam, and then right in the middle I've actually got a warehouse, one of those metal beams that you support, the support beams, and I kind of squeeze that in there. So, but I have seen people get an entire wood frame in there. I think you just have to be patient and get that in there. But I wanted, like I said, I wanted concrete. I wanted to completely board it up. And another guy actually put a fence here so you could actually shoot out, but people couldn't actually throw grenades in. So that was kind of a neat idea as well. So as you can see, nothing on that side, no settlements. I've only got one turret on that side. I didn't even want to have that turret, but I wanted it to have something that would tell me if I got attacked. So I've got one single small turret at the top there, if you can see it. And that just tells me whether I'm getting attacked or, and I've been attacked a few times. They destroy the turret and then they move on. They've never actually stuck around and tried to get into the settlement or just hung around outside shooting type thing, which is kind of interesting. I was just wondering what this was. This is a dog cage. I wasn't expecting that, to be honest. But yeah, obviously have a dog in there. So I want to try to get a dog and a cat. So yeah, so as you can see, just garbage on that side. No cooking stations, no anything else. Now the only other thing that I put here was I've got a hidden pole here, a hidden power pole in these trees. As you can see there, I wanted to make that kind of all hidden. And I also have some generators underneath the ground. I didn't want obviously no space. As you can see, the challenge of building inside just Red Rocket alone is very challenging space wise. So you couldn't actually put any generators. I actually put the generators right over here where it says electrical, but you could actually hear them from inside, which was really annoying. And the same thing with turrets on that side. The turrets were super annoying because it's just so quiet on the inside, and if you got turrets just outside the door, it's just you could just hear that vibrating, which was super annoying. But anyway, so I do have generators underground. Yeah, it kind of makes it feasible. You know, generators can exist underground or underneath in the caves. So I do have a couple of generators there, as you can see. That's providing my power. I'm just trying to think. I think I might even have a water generator hidden in the ground just somewhere as well. I was trying to see if I could see if I actually did do that. I think I do. Yeah, I must have a water generator. I've hid it here somewhere. It's somewhere in the bush here, I think. But I think it's right over here somewhere. So I do have a pure water pump or whatever underground. So again, still feasible being part of, you know, water generators can exist underground, or pumps rather, right? So otherwise, everything else is inside. So let's take a look inside. So like I said, just garbage on the outside. Let's take a quick tour on inside. Now I spent a lot of time on details and things like that. That's what happens when you build a small settlement. You get to spend more time on other things, right? So let's start on the. Oh, no. Seriously. Let me try reload this quick. Everything's fallen off the shelves. Since we're back here. That's the problem with Fallout and things that don't stick to shelves. This is the first time I started decorating shelves, and it's kind of fun, but it just kind of ruins it when things don't stay in place, unfortunately, right? So anyway, that's just how it is. Even with a reload, things seem to fall out of place here, right? Which is interesting. Let's go take a look here. Actually, let me do another load, yeah, just previous to that one. Normally when you travel away, things start falling out, so I'm not sure why that happened with me in the settlement. Okay, there, everything's hopefully back to normal. Okay, so let's start in the main room, and I will walk you through the rest of the settlement. Oh, this is the one I didn't have all the Nuka-Colas and stuff in there. Okay, that's fine. Let me see, let me try this one again. See if we got the same results. Okay, so I have my Nuka-Cola in the fridges. And there we go, I still have my Nuka-Colas there. Kind of crazy when you load in and it does that, right? Okay, so let's start into the main room here. So this is the main, obviously the main workshop room. There's this button on the wall that will actually open up the door. And I'll do that in a second, yeah, but I just wanted to show you the actual, oh, we can open it up now, it's no big deal. So this is the only door that actually opens up the settlement, right? So very secure little bunker. Even the NPCs don't open up the door. They don't know how to push that button. Even Piper, surprisingly, normally companions would walk through doors, but they can open and close these types of doors, and all of these. Red Rocket has all these doors already built into Red Rocket, and they can come and open and close those doors just like a natural NPC would, right? But obviously all of these guys are boarded up, so they can't actually get in and out without going through the main door, and they don't actually open up this button, interesting enough. So as you can see, you can walk in. This is the main door. You go inside. I've made a little room here. Got my weapons, all my weapon racks here. It's the first time I'm actually using these racks, and they look kind of cool. got my wall racks with the weapons, got a little armor, the default armor station, which the power armor station that is normally in this corner. As you can see, I've sort of fixed up the floors, made it a nice little neat living area. Got a little lounge here, TV, bunch of trophies, shelves, some wine, liquor. Got a slot machine. So again, very limited in space of what you can actually do and put in here. So you have to be very selective. But I wanted a living settlement where it had everything in these 3 rooms, or these 2 rooms plus the hallways. Yeah, so as you can see, I put a lot of time in the details, and I've got some wooden crates with ammunition and explosives, some tool case, I decorated with sort of got glue and some oil cans and things on the racks, a bunch of power armor spare parts and circuit boards, hacksaw, some duct tape and paints, just all your typical stuff that you'd find in a workshop if you're preparing sort of power armor and stuff. Some more oil. I got some undamaged Abraxo cleaner. So during the decoration, it's interesting that you can find a bunch of these clean things and that as part of your hunt that you'd just scrap because they're not really you don't really use them. You use them more for scrap and parts and components versus anything else, right? Some more circuit boards, some handy fuel there, some blowtorch, some nuclear material, some more Abraxo clean at the top there, right? So I managed to get sort of a armor workbench in here. I have a weapons workbench, plus I have a chem station. So those are your main sort of machines, if you will, that you might actually use. I mean, I don't use armor at all, but I wanted to have kind of the main components in there. You can also put stuff on top of the workshop, which is kind of cool. So you can store stuff, like duct tape and stuff. This kind of gives it kind of that workbench type feel as well, right? So this is kind of the main room, and then exiting this room, we have this main little hallway. So again, I've got a few mats and stuff down. I have a weapons workbench here, which I do use quite often. So again, utilizing all the space as best you can. I have some shelves here, and unfortunately, as you saw earlier, these shelves, a whole bunch of power armor helmets on there, which I thought looked really cool. Some mini nukes and stuff, some food, some buckets, some vegetables here. I got some carrots and mutifruit, corn, potatoes. But unfortunately, they don't actually stay there, right? So I'm sure as soon as I leave, that's all going to come apart. And again, we have some nuclear cola machines. So I used like all the space as best I can. You can actually get 8 bottles in this machine, and stacking them is not actually too bad. But again, they don't really stay. So okay, got some chems here. Right away, stim packs. This is kind of the bathroom area, so I made this little corner just the bathroom. This nuclear cola machine giving a bit of privacy to this area. Now I also have 2 stores. I have a medic station. As you can see, I've got this medic station, which this counter here you can't actually remove. I don't use mods at all, so this counter cannot be moved as well. So I turned that into the actual medic station. This if you try and put the medic station down, you can actually put it backwards, and it actually by default goes into this counter. I was surprised that it just, I don't know, because you can't actually carpet glitch these stores into anything, right? So but it just kind of snapped into this counter. I was kind of surprised, so I actually turned that into a counter, kind of a multi-use counter, if you will. So I've got a medic station there, plus I've got this other counter which I did carpet glitch into there. As you can see, there's some carpets on the floor there. and that allows me to actually put stuff on top of the medic station, because normally you can't actually store anything on top of the medic station, right? Or any of the stores, right? So then that allows you to actually put stuff on top, which is kind of cool. You can put some pots and pans and teapots. I've got a flower pot there, a hot stove, some more shelves with some coffee pots top there, and then I've got a little cooking stove there. So that's kind of cool, multi-use there, right? And then the other thing I did here is the bar area. I did something similar. So I put the bar right against the wall. As you can see, she's facing towards the direction. But I also carpet glitched the counter in there. And that allows me to put these sort of coffee makers or machines on top. And it actually kind of makes it look like she's actually making coffee and doing stuff, kind of bar work, right? So I thought that was kind of cool. So really maximizing all the space in the settlement as best you can. You know, a little crop area here. You can only really put one in here. Some seating, which I've never actually seen them actually use, surprisingly. You know, some decoration. These shelves here that these globes are actually sitting on are static, so you can't actually move them, so you might as well use them. So you can turn them into some sort of bar counter. I suppose I could have done that instead of put this table in there, but I wanted to actually see them eat, but they weren't actually sitting. So, but you could turn that quite easily into a bar area and save some space, or put something else there. Okay, we have a stove area. Then I built this fridge. I saw this video of this girl that built a really cool walk-in fridge, much larger than this one, but of course I don't have a lot of space, so I had to downsize. And of course it was a really cool idea. I used the same concepts to do it, and I've actually made a video on how to build this fridge, and I've also got links of her channel on that video just to show you. Take a look. If you are building quite a large settlement, you might want the larger walk-in type fridge instead. It looks really dope. But if you want like a single fridge like this, again, you can do that now. But same concept though. The only problem with putting a door on here, the NPCs like to open this door at every second I turn my back, the door's open. So they just like to open doors, right? So that's the downside of having a door here, right? So okay, so just this area there, this is just where the chem station is. I have a chem station with you know, flasks and burners, and obviously the chem station. I have a little safe in the corner here. Again, I saw this someone else made this kind of area at a Red Rocket. I thought it was really cool, so I kind of adopted that as well. So table here. So again, turning all of these areas that are probably used for different things before into kind of very useful areas that you could do stuff, sit down, instead of having cabinets and stuff here. I mean, it looks small, you know, it feels small, but it's actually quite a large area, and you can do quite a lot with it, right? And then finally, I have turned this room into the bedroom area. You can actually put a door in there, the door just snaps in there.
I can patch you up if you need it, for a small.
So the door actually snaps in there, so you can choose to put a door, or you don't have to actually put a door. And then I created this room. So I have 4 settlers in here. There's not really a lot of room to put settlers at this. There's a limited space. So I really just have a medic, somebody who does the crops, and the bar person.
If you need fixing up,
really, you can't have too many settlers in here. Now, funny enough, I do have settlers showing up. I don't have a radio tower. I removed that, but I still have random settlers that'll just show up at my settlement and start, you know, working the crops and that, which is kind of strange, which is very weird, because I know I don't do that for Finch Farm, and Finch Farm always has stayed at 4 settlers, so it's a little odd. Maybe they're coming over from Sanctuary or something, right? So yeah, just like 2 areas. I've got sleeping bags underneath the bed, so I actually have 4 beds in here. these lamps, which are not standard, they come from the Cabot House. I believe you can get this at these at the Institute. They are extremely buggy. If you spend more than say 20 seconds trying to place them, your game will crash. It's very bizarre, but they're kind of cool looking lamps just because they're different. Got some shelves there, some stuff. A lot of the stuff just kind of sinks into the floor and stuff. Little desk area, table. So it definitely feels like a little bunker. It was kind of fun building this just because I don't really I don't do this kind of settlement often. So it was kind of neat spending more time on the details, and it's a little frustrating that everything's falling off shelves and things like that. That drives me crazy, but unfortunately, there's no real resolution or solution to fix that. It's just, it is what it is. Normally, I don't decorate anything. I've never have, and now I know why people generally don't do that, right? So it's just unfortunate. You spend all that time, and then all your work's kind of wasted, right? But a really cool little settlement for sure. Um, It also feels very secure. I mean, when that door's closed, I tend to always like the door closed because I feel unsecure when that door's open.
Hope you enjoyed that song by Warren Smith. I can't take it back. Hey, how about a bit of good news? If you know, haven't already seen it, which I did, so I know it's true and not just something I overheard. Nick Valentine is back in town. He's gone. Some people who are totally not gone.
Now, the other thing you can do to get things on the shelves, just so people know, if you guys are familiar with the pole glitch or the pillar glitch rather, the basic idea behind getting things on the lower shelves is you put a pillar next to this rack, I guess, and you actually lift it up towards eye level, right? And the kind of thing that people are talking about is if the shelf is at eye level or a little bit higher than eye level, when you try and place things on the shelf, it allows you to place them. So you lift this up kind of, in the air with the pillar, and then you place items with the workshop, and things tend to stay with the workshop if you place them with the workshop. If you place them manually you just grab it with your hand and you try and just pick it up like this, and then you come back, things are gonna fall apart, right? So, but other things, like most of the stuff in this room actually stayed intact. Nothing sort of fell off the shelves. Maybe one or two items. So, the idea here is you put stuff on the racks, on the shelves, and then you move the rack. And if things fall off, then you know it's going to fly around when you're away. If things stay there in place, then most of them will actually stay when you get back, right? Like stuff like Nuka Cola will never stay anywhere. It falls through tables, it falls through everything. You can't place it, it doesn't stick to anything. But other things like these guys actually stick. So if you lift these up, like all these food items, generally it will stick. Most of the helmets will stick, except the T51 doesn't seem to stick. The XO1 and all those guys seem to stick. All these food items won't stick, unfortunately. But yeah, that's kind of the test. So if you really want to test if something's going to stick, then place a workshop and then move the shelf. And if it allows you to move it with the item stuck to it, then you know it probably won't fly. Anyway, I hope you found that useful. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and let me know what you think. And if you have any questions about certain things, just let me know as well. And
If you need it.
or if you've done something similar, then just comment in the comment section. Let me know. I'd be kind of interested in what people do, or if they've created a similar small tiny settlement. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you found that fun to watch.